5 films of 2022. Number 5, Elvis, starring Austin Butler and Tom Hanks. Okay, let me just say number 5 is my and really my top 5. They're all like right there. They're just all uh, incredible. For this one really surprised me because I didn't think I would be so emotionally taken away with the retelling of the music. The music, in a lot of ways, was reimagined by a lot of current artists, mixed in with the story. Only Baz Luhrmann can do that. Fantastic film, topped by two brilliant performances. Uh, Tom Hanks as Colonel Parker, and then Austin Butler. I've never heard of him before. He was wonderful. I just couldn't stop. I've seen it twice already. I'm playing the score and the soundtrack over and over again. My top 5 is filled with different elements, guys. Not just story, score, music, other elements that make an all incredible cinematic experience. My only regret is I didn't see this movie in the theater. It's my number 5. Number 4, Top Gun with Tom Cruise. It's a nice little through line there, guys. You know, it's got rewatchability. It kicks ass. It's emotional. It's got the great Lady Gaga song. I was thinking about this, guys, as far as what's the other character in the film, and is that it's the filmmaking of the jet fight of the jets, right? Like the sound, the imagery, the shots, the cinematography. That was a character in the movie, The Trench Run. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. And tell you what, guys, it is a diverse cast without being diverse.
Well, I mean, let's talk about that for a second, because you know that's whole thing. Actually, I had she's one of my great members of my Patreon. I won't identify her because but she's wonderful, and she's also a minority, and she'd said, oh, it feels like they did the diversity thing, and I said, just remember, the U.S. military is incredibly diverse, right? There's a very large, what we would call minority population, and that's a historical progress for it, considering how we segregated troops throughout the World War II and all of that, right? And so, it's this movie was naturally both reflective of what the U.S. military can be, and also it was so authentic because you didn't care about these people's ethnicities or backgrounds. You didn't know or care about any of their sexual orientations. They were there as patriotic soldiers, and most importantly, they were there as cocky Top Gun pilots being given something that was too big a challenge for them to handle, and they were united in that. And I think there was a lovely, let me get her name right, the lovely Monica Barbaro, who was in this movie, and I'm guessing Latina, and she was great, and she was sexy, and oh my God, I want to see more of her.
And you guys heard it here first. 12 times Rosa got to see the volleyball beach scene. Or football.
Yes.
Football.
Monica was looking good in that scene too. I enjoyed that scene.
She did, yeah.
Even Tom. It's like, like for an older gentleman to kind of like have his shirt off with the young dudes. I was like, you go, Tom. I was like, man, boy, look good, because that is not easy to do, to keep up your physique and your, as we're getting a little older, Cameron. It's a lot of work. But yeah, that it's a great film. Okay, let me just go on to my number 3. How about that? At number 3, Everything Everywhere All at Once with Michelle Yeoh and a great ensemble cast. The top 3, guys, for me really is they're all for me the number 1, because each of them touched me in profound ways and provoked me to share it with family to rewatch it, to sit down with them. With this one, the first time I saw it in the theater by myself, I immediately grabbed Romy and one of our best friends. We went to go see it again because it's so touching and it's so bizarre too. And let's give those roses. Let's give let's all hail Michelle Yeoh, who's been a female leading lady in action films for decades. Jennifer Lawrence, decades, and what she does in this film, it's different iterations of herself, of this character. She's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. At number 2, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, with such a great soundtrack. I mean, I could cry right now. This movie is so beautiful, and I was holding back on what you were saying about your critique of Del Toro, which I agree, but he got it here, right? He got the dialogue, he got the character development, and it is a tried and true story. But he goes deeper with it. When I was done, I was literally in tears watching the trailer, watching the closing credits. I saw it in a movie theater, even though it's on Netflix. And I called my father right afterwards. I called my mother right afterwards. It is so profound, this story. And yeah, not to mention that you're basically watching a cartoon, guys. Stop animated, stop motion animation. And I know he took forever to get this done. And they also had a team in Mexico, a team in Oregon, 60 sound stages going on at the same time, something insane. The music is incredible, the score, the singing. Ian McGregor sings. Ian McGregor is Sebastian J. Cricket. Oh my God. Christoph Waltz is Volpe. And then you had this kid playing Pinocchio, and it was just wonderful. And yes, Ciao Papa. Oh my God, I could listen to that song over and over. It's so profound because there's so many great messages that they tell you, and really it's just that life is fleeting. Enjoy it now because we are gone, and I cannot tell. So yes, I highly recommend Pinocchio. If you can, go see it in the theater. I've already seen it again in turn it up a little bit. I already saw it again on Netflix. I want to take Romy again to see it. I will say two more things about this before hitting my number 1. Guillermo lost his mother in October, and it was his mother. I guess the story is throughout Guillermo's life that his mother gave him Pinocchio dolls. They had a very strong connection. So he's been wanting to do this film. And yes, like what Rosa said, that it's very much like this odd boy out, like this Frankenstein monster, which I think was great how he came to life. And one last thing is that Guillermo made it very Mexican in as far as the duality of life and death and how we love and laugh at it all. And was just, I can't wait to see it again. I just like with all these films, my top 5. I can't wait. And it's something to share and beloved. Okay, here's my number 1. Such a great soundtrack. Yes, it is. And my top number 1 film of all year from India, S.S. Rajamouli's R.R.R.
Raju! Akhtar!
All right, it's not a big surprise. How can I add to what I've already have said in regards to this film? It's everything what other people have said prior. What I have done, I've seen it several times in the theater since then. I've shared it with family. We've had sit downs and watch the film. Um, Family members of different kind of like political backgrounds, and some modern, some not. First reluctant to watch it with me, and then at the end they're cheering. It really brings family members together as well. And I cannot speak enough to how masculine this movie is also. That these and it's a wonderful also to tale of friendship of men with nothing else that our perverted American senses have at times. Of course, it's entertaining. The action is just over the top. Kicks ass, and then there's incredible music, which I really hope that this seems that this movie is getting its due with all the nominations and all that good stuff. Um, my I've said this before. I hope SS, the director Rajamouli, stays away from doing deals with Hollywood studios, and let him go do his movies and let Hollywood take care of distributing or whatever. But I know he just signed with, I think, CAA, Cameron, or something like
Mhm.
that. I just don't want him to be poisoned by Hollywood, if you know what I
Well, as someone from the subcontinent myself, and who has often been approached to be involved in projects related to that, I have found that there seems to be a very and I'm going to use Chinese wall, for India, but there seems to be a Chinese wall between Indian filmmaking and Hollywood. They're almost like a mutual decision that people don't cross those lines.
mean.
Priyanka Chopra was one of the very few actresses that briefly came over and became a Hollywood thing, right? And then she's gone. She's gone back to India, right? And part of the phenomenon is this: in India, these directors and these stars are literally like gods to a lot of people. The level of fame and power and success they have in their own community and globally, because Indian cinema is a global phenomenon. You go to Russia, you go to Moscow, you'll be able to watch Indian films, and people are packing the theaters watching them, right? So it's for them coming here and being the number 2 brown guy in the system, not worth it. Not worth it. Good. And that's true for directors as well. I think he'll just be offered, let's do this pandering movie that we can say we have an Indian director on, rather than something that from the heart, like this film is from here. So.
Yeah, and I am a little surprised they didn't make your top 5, Rosa.
RR. I think it's on my top 15, not 5. Yeah.
All right, she's got all those high-end dramas in her 10. Top
10. Yeah, I'm one of those. What do people call? One of those critics who drinks wine and
yes,
listens to classical music, and yes, absolutely.
We need more of that. We need the balance. We need films that are thought provoking and that break out of the patterns that we're in, and we also need dumb entertainment. We need both.
Yeah, we need everything. A little bit of everything.
All.
Yeah.